Hey YouTube. So I've been watching videos about dentures leading up to my E-Day. I guess that's what they call it, is E-Day. And I decided that because I was helped so much by the videos on YouTube that I should make one too. But first I want to talk about why I ended up with dentures in the first place. I am 37 and I am a denture wearer as of 2 days ago. So my teeth issues really started when I was a kid, but not. When I was very little, before my grown-up teeth came in, they were right, like I had a perfect smile, which means there was no room for my grown-up teeth to come in. So, and also I was on antibiotics a lot as a baby. So when my adult teeth came in, they came in discolored, and they came in extremely crowded. I could never floss because anytime I would try to put a flosser up there, it would just shred. So I never really was a flosser. Problem number one. Problem number two, the crowding. They wanted to do some extractions and do braces, but my parents couldn't afford that. And I kind of wish they'd done just the extractions, because then maybe my teeth would have shifted while I was still growing and given themselves some space. That didn't happen. So then on top of that, when I was, go away Sarah, when I was a teenager, my wisdom teeth came in, and the pediatric dentist wanted to pull them, and I was freaked out, and I said no, and he said, well, that's fine as long as you can keep them clean. Should have said yes. So a few years down the road, I start the baby making factory, and I start having babies. And during my first pregnancy with my 17-year-old, that wisdom tooth got a cavity, and I didn't have dental insurance, and I didn't have a dentist, and it just sat there, and it sat there and rotted until I was in massive amounts of pain. And when my second child was born, I went and had them extracted. Well, as soon as those were extracted, those cavities jumped to the next tooth, and again, no dental care, no dentist, no dental insurance, just brushing my teeth, but no flossing, no dental insurance. And then there's a break between babies because I had some infertility and recurrent pregnancy issues. And then I had 5 babies in 8 years. And that was pretty much the death knell for my teeth. When my 7-year-old was an infant, my grandmother died, and some money was gifted to me from my mother's inheritance to get my teeth done. And I wanted to get dentures then, and the dentist at the time wouldn't even think about it. He was like, no, you're too young, you'll bone loss, whatever. And so I spent like $6,000 trying to restore my crappy teeth. And he sent me for 5 extractions. I had 3 extracted on the bottom. And no, I'm sorry, 8 extractions. 3 extracted on the bottom, 5 extracted on the top, and massive fillings were done. And the last filling that he didn't do. It was like summer vacation, and some chick in his office did it, and it was never right. And within a few months, it started to fail. And then I got pregnant, and I had 2 babies in 1 year, and that was the end of that. It was to the point of no return, and I was in pain all the time, and it was just nasty, gnarly, ugly looking. But, you know, they say, oh, don't say you can't afford it. Well, hello, when you're raising kids, you can't afford it. It's either pay the rent and put food on the table or get teeth. I mean, if that's the option, then what are you going with? You're going to go with paying the rent and getting food on the table. But I finally had the opportunity to get it done. So, on, what day was it? Wednesday. So today's Friday. On Wednesday, I had 9 extractions on the top. It was really only like 6.5 teeth that I had left. But, like I had this, the equivalent of this one was, half of it was still, like it was still there, but you couldn't see it. It was like broken down and just black. And then I had a root, this one right here, I think it was this one. There was a root up, like you could just barely feel part of it, and then there was a root in there, but that was all that was left. And then my far back molar back here, there was half of a tooth, and then like this big crater with remnants of root. So, and then there were two front teeth which were badly broken down, and then this one, and anyway, so 9 extractions later and nice acrylics later, I have a pretty smile. So later on I will tell you the story about my extractions and how the new teeth are working for me, which is actually surprisingly well. So